Hi, friends. Welcome to Pockets Full of Soup, the storytelling show. My apologies. We had a massive technological meltdown, and the original version of this episode was eaten by the computer. I'm sorry about that. In the end, we had to refilm. This isn't quite turning out how I'd hoped. Also, apologies. I don't have a teleprompter, so I'm going to be looking down at my notes a little bit more than usual here because there's a lot that I want to make sure I get right. Actually, it may turn out that technological meltdown was a blessing in disguise because some really good, exciting new things I found out about over the last few days. And I can't talk about it all yet, but all I can tell you is that it's going to be really, really cool news for Pockets. We'll get there. I am not trying to tease you. I don't want to tantalize. I will share everything as soon as I can. I don't want to string you along. But I can tell you that as we move into season 2, in addition to all the news I will be able to share with you tonight, there's even more coming soon. Keep your ears perked up. So, a year ago, I sat in my little apartment and I sat in front of a camera, looked at it, and told you about a little project I wanted to start called Pockets Full of Soup, a show with an emphasis on thankfulness. And about 12 months later, here we are, 50 episodes in, plus dozens of episodes of the Patreon exclusives and A Pretty Good Day and Single Serving and Laser Dracula and lots of stuff like that. And you made that happen. You did that. All of it. It's extraordinary that this took place. You made that happen. And so I'm going to start with those words that so often come to Pockets. You know, words, they never really convey the gravity of true gratitude, but they are the best we can do sometimes. And those two words I say to you that come into practically everything we do here, thank you. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you so very much for the chance. Thank you for the letters and the hugs and the handshakes. Thank you for believing in me when I was up and when I was down. Thank you for believing in one another. And thank you for inviting me to believe in you. It's a privilege. It really is. And here we are, a year later and a season in. It was a learning experience. Some things, like interviews, I think I've gotten okay at that. I'm pretty good at asking questions now. Other things, like keeping the volume of my voice consistent, I've still got to work on. But fortunately, you are patient and kind and wise teachers, and you've helped me and the show get better and better, something I deeply appreciate. What I'd hoped to do with Pockets Full of Soup from the very beginning was provide some small measure of comfort and light through the telling of stories. And in that measure, I really do think that we've succeeded. Stories can be magic. They can set things in motion. They can remind us of what is good and who we are, and lessons we learned long ago that we might have forgotten, and new lessons we may never have discovered. Stories are powerful, and the stories our guests tell matter. And we're going to continue finding and telling those stories together in season 2. I've talked a lot about season 2. Here we go. Here's what season 2 is going to be. Well, first, we're going to bring people in from far broader and different walks of life. How different? Well, how about people that have been to outer space? Yeah, we're going there. I cannot wait for that interview. I'm going to go interview an astronaut next week, and it's really exciting, and I can't wait to ask a story about that. But it's not just about big. It's about the fact that everyone has a story to tell from the context of their lives, and things that are grand and things that are quiet. Oh, they're also full of worth. So yes, we're going to talk to people that have been to space, but we're also going to talk to people that teach coding in their communities and hear their stories. We're going to talk to musicians and find out what it's like to perform in front of a crowd of thousands, but we're also going to reach out and find out the stories of people who sat as children and watched actresses on screen and were inspired to become a different kind of person maybe than they had ever thought they could be before. We're going to learn all kinds of wonderful stories this season, and I simply cannot wait to share it all with you. I was challenged by members of this community, indeed, to extend further beyond what was familiar on Pockets Full of Soup, and that's what we're going to do. So, about twice a month, we're going to be having those interview-style episodes that you come to know and hopefully to love. The kind of cornerstone Pockets Full of Soup episodes, probably about every other week. So what's going to go in between those? Well, a couple things. First, A Pretty Good Day, which I think is evolving into a pretty good show. I love some of the stories that have been told on there. I love hearing about bears in the woods. I love hearing about people hauling off and just deciding to move to Alaska, or somebody getting their joke on Saturday Night Live. I love the stories of the best days of our lives. I've even enjoyed sharing a couple of mine through Patreon and in other places, and I want the opportunity to do that more and to find more of those. So you'll be seeing A Pretty Good Day in the rotation. But we also want to make room for new things, and that's right, for new shows. Yeah, so we're making some space for that. New shows, you say? Well, what do we got in mind? And only a few days ago, I thought I knew exactly what I was going to tell you here. But now I have better news. And rather than spoil it or hint at it or kind of half do it here, I just want to let you know that some really cool things are going to get announced soon, and I think you're going to like them a lot. But I want to wait to announce them correctly when absolutely all the ink is dry and the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and all the rest of that. So keep an eye out on Pockets Full of Soup because there's going to be more and something really exciting to announce soon. I don't really want to give too many hints, except to say that one of these initiatives is something people have been asking me for a long time. I'll just put it that way. And I'm very, very happy that I'm going to finally be able to do this. So there's that. More on that soon. I can't wait. And what about other initiatives? Well, there's going to be some experiments. I am going to try or die to get Podcast Cinematic Universe off the ground. You've heard me use that phrase a lot. You know, a lot of your favorite creators and podcasters are based right here in the Bay Area, here in San Francisco. And I think it'd be a lot of fun to have an idea to get a panel of the best creators around together from different programs to have impromptu chats about all kinds of things. Maybe topics you're not used to hearing them talk about with people you're not necessarily used to seeing them talking with or hearing them talking with. A chance for you to hear your favorite personalities while meeting completely new ones. And that's something I really want to make happen. So that's a project that'll be evolving throughout the season. I have some very definite ideas around that as well. Stay tuned for more. That shouldn't take long to show you. Also have a service project ahead I want to let you know about. And the Passion Project thing, just can't say it yet. All right, I'm being unfair now. You guys are probably ready to slap me. Be patient. It's worth it. And I haven't forgotten that I also still owe you folks a live episode and a road trip episode, both promises from the original Patreon. Neither are forgotten. Both are in the cards for this season. Also, we will occasionally continue to talk about Riverdale and Bears just because I want to. I'm also worked up about this. I'm really excited about what I hope is going to become a tradition for Pockets, our first Soups On event. In September, I'll be asking those of you who are willing and able to find one way to express your thankfulness or gratitude to a person in your life or to people in your community. You can choose to volunteer or spend some time with someone you love, or reconnect with an old friend, any number of other possibilities. There's all kinds of ways you can do this, big and small, whatever works in your life. We're all going to do something similar at the same time, and then not just do the service, but then I want to hear from you and have you tell the story, have us tell the story together on Pockets. Either in written form or if practical, perhaps through very brief videos or audio clips in a very special episode where we share the stories of how we reached out and moved beyond words to find ways to thank people with our actions. Because ultimately, while words are wonderful, it's how they're reflected in what we do that really makes a difference in the world. And that's what I really want to see happen here. Now, Pockets is not my full-time job, but as much as I wish I could spend all my time doing Pockets, right now it's something that I do on the side. So let's talk for a second about Patreon. There are right now a lot of entertainers and artists producing wonderful things out there on Patreon asking you for your money, and I'm one of those folks. I support Patreon creators myself. It's something that I really, really think is a marvelous platform. Patreon's allowed so many people to do so many wonderful things. But here's the honest truth. Pockets Patreon has been shrinking. Now, that's no surprise. While we produce a lot of regular and exclusive content on Pockets, we haven't launched any big new initiatives in a long time. And new is exciting and it's attention-getting. But I'm constantly in a place of tension between promising new things and the fear of overcommitment, because I am working a full-time job outside the show. And I want to make sure that the quality of our episodes stays worthy of this wonderful audience. Consequently, I'm going to make this appeal to you. I really believe that Pockets represents something truly unique. It's a quiet and honest place that exists as a counterpoint to so much of what's going on in the world around us right now. I think it's important that something like Pockets exist. And for Pockets to continue, and more importantly, for Pockets to truly grow, we need your support through Patreon. So many of you have been so generous and have given of the measure of your hard-earned money. And that, I understand what that means. I don't deserve a dime from you. But the fact that you choose to do this, it's extraordinary and amazing. Folks, thank you for your patience with getting this episode up. Thank you for your support on the show. I really hope you enjoy this. I don't know where I'd be without you. And so I wish you good night. I hope you enjoy our first episode with Street Code, and following on with that with some of our other upcoming guests, film buff Diana Goodman, an astronaut. That's awesome. And lots of other stuff. Hope you enjoy it. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.